Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Matt Tebow with Stacked, and today I'm joined by the upset winner of CLG over Team Liquid, CLG's jungler Broxah. How are you doing, man?
I am doing pretty great, honestly. Well, I guess it's no secret that this win over Team Liquid meant a lot to me, and especially the way that we won yesterday. We played a similar comp, and we made a lot of mistakes. Today we spent a lot of time looking into what we did wrong, and we just succeeded and we played so well. So I'm pretty happy and proud.
hmm Walk me through the game, because in the beginning it looked like it was starting slow, Lilia was just farming, everybody was just getting gears up, and then it just exploded. What was it like from your perspective?
Yeah, so the game started pretty slow. We had a pretty poor start. Our bot lane made a mistake in the 2v2 and gave the enemy's first plot, and then we didn't have a lot of pressure. We didn't really manage to find our footing, and I think we actually gave up the two first Drakes and two first Heralds while we were just mostly farming. And I think there was different reasons as to why we couldn't really pressure. But most of all, we just held our ground. We waited for the right opportunity, and we didn't give Team Liquid any openings to, get a big advantage of us. We just stayed pretty much even the entire time, and then eventually we managed to find some openings. We made some good plays for ourselves, and that's when we actually managed to get the lead and push the game forward. And again, I think a lot of that comes from us taking the time to really, both as a team but also in small groups individually, review the game from yesterday and learn from that, because everything that went wrong in the game we played yesterday went really well today. So we we learned a lot from that, and yeah.
hmm And I think I speak for a lot of people when I say your performances from this week compared to like a week or 2 weeks ago have been night and day. What's been the key to CLG's kind of come up so far?
Honestly, like I said it right after coming here, the only thing we're gonna need is time. This team has an amazing atmosphere. I was so mind blown when I came in and joined, when I came into the office, and even after losses, no one blames each other. No one's, there's a bit of frustration and sadness, but most of all, we're just really united and just sticking together as a team. And rather, instead of trying to, backstab each other or start big arguments, we just sit and we talk and we review the games, and we are like, it feels like a group of friends that are just have so much respect for each other and so much trust between each other. And because of that, I think we've been able to deal with the losses, deal with the situation we're in pretty well. There's no doubt that it has put a lot of pressure on us mentally. Already knowing now that we won't be able to make it to playoffs this spring, knowing that we're in a really tough situation even when summer starts. But we've all felt and we all know for a fact that we just need to play together as a team for long enough. We just need to get to know each other even better. We need to get synergy, because I think we've all played pretty well individually. It's just usually the key moments where we need that team coordination and where everything has to come together. We wouldn't be on the same page and the game would fall apart. And now we've shown that those macro points, that team play is starting to come, and I'm pretty confident that after having a long break before the summer split, we're gonna look so much better.
hmm Particularly as Team Liquid was your stopping point when you first came to NA a few years ago, or it feels like a few years ago, I should say. Yeah, with everything going on, and considering Jensen's tweet, just had our first three. Excited to have our first 3-0 weekend, something along those lines last night. Does it feel particularly special to make this statement win be over Team Liquid?
I've seen a lot of people in the community have very different opinions and some weird perceptions as to why I'm now part of CLG and not on Team Liquid anymore. And there's no doubt that this is a year where I'm really looking to prove myself. I'm pretty happy with the role I've been given on CLG. I feel like I'm in a position where I should be able to shine once we start connecting as a team, and I think it's already slowly starting to show. And yeah, I mean, beating my old team always feels great, I'm playing against my old teammates, and it was kind of fun going up against them too, because it was my first time playing against my old team. Like after I left Fnatic, I never got to play them. I was hoping we were going to play them at Worlds because it would have been a lot of fun, but it didn't happen. And now, just doing the prep against them, knowing their players so well, having a pretty good idea of how their way of thinking is, how they are doing the prep, how they are going to go into the match, and just having a lot of insight made it really interesting. And we came in really, really well prepared, and yeah, I'm very, very satisfied with the win. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm. And I want to talk a little bit about your picks yesterday. I think a lot of, to be facetious, I think a lot of bronze and silver players were very happy to see you whip out the Morgana jungle and validate them in the LCS. But I'm just curious, what made you guys decide like Morgana jungle's like viable here? Not saying that like why in God's name did you pick it, but I'm more or less just kind of curious about your thought process in draft.
Well, Morgana Jungle is a pick that I wanted to test for a long time, that I wanted to try, and that I've thought, even since some point last year, that, it has potential, it could be interesting to pull out in certain scenarios, and yesterday we were in a situation where we just felt like it would make sense to pull it off. Black Shield had a pretty decent amount of value into their team comp, and honestly, I think it could have looked really good. It could have looked very different. I saw some people memeing on the pick after the game, but I think most of all, yesterday was one of the games where we just didn't play well as a team and everything fell apart, and then the Morgana didn't get to do much. I think there was like 2 fights where we were not very coordinated, we were not on the same page, we messed up in team fights, I messed up the Black Shields as well, and I just think it was a good opportunity to catch the opponent off guard, try something new, and I think it wasn't bad. I think it looked pretty good overall, but if we didn't mess up, it probably would have looked a lot better.
Mm-hmm. Is that the kind of identity you're looking to try and experiment with in the future? Just someone who's able to whip out these kind of not quote unquote wackier picks in LCS?
Well, I don't think it's any secret that I am very excited this year to get to play more champions. Last year I was known as more or less Lee Sin Graves only player. That felt rather frustrating, not getting to be put in different situations and show that I'm capable of playing a lot of different champions. Now I've already played a decent amount. Obviously showing the Morgana felt great too, because not a lot of players would be confident enough to whip out a Morgana on stage. So yeah, overall just feels like I have a big say in the team, feels like I have a lot of freedom, and it feels good having a lot of different opportunities, both in terms of the influence I have and how we play the game, but also when it comes to the champions I can go for.
Of course. Once again, this is CLG's Jungler Broxah, and I'm Matt Table with Stacked. You can find us online at stacked.gg and follow us on our socials at stackedlol. If you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe. It really helps us out a lot. Broxah, it's always a pleasure, and good luck next weekend.
Thank you very much.